Been talking about erosion and deposition and weathering and the forces that change the shape of the earth. And today we're going to talk a little bit more about water. So, our learning target today is I understand that rivers change the shape of the land by eroding and depositing sediments. What's a sediment, you say? A sediment, remember, we just visited that in our notebook. It's really just material, broken up small pieces of rocks. And in our last lesson, you guys saw sand like you've never seen it before, right? And all sand comes from some larger rock, right? So we were able to identify that some sand in the Gulf of Mexico came from the Appalachian Mountains, which are white, and some sand that's in Michigan came from all kinds of quartz, and some sand in Hawaii was black from basalt and lava. That was pretty cool, right? So now let's talk about water and running water, specifically rivers, okay? So we're going to talk about rivers changing the shape of the land by eroding and depositing sediments. Remember, eroding means moving sediments and depositing means dropping sediments, right? So our first key term today is mature river. Say it with me, mature river. It's a river that's been developing for thousands of years. Now, there are young rivers, and they go fast and furious, and they have skinny, narrow valleys, and they carry huge sediments, and they have a lot of energy, just like our young people. And then there are mature rivers, just kind of meander about. They're just, they have turns and beaches and oxbow lakes, and they don't carry so much sediment, but they do carry something called a load. Load. Say it with me. Load. Load is soil and rock particles carried by water. So like when you see a muddy river, it's carrying particles of sand or silt, something like that. Meander. Say it with me. Meander. It's a curve or a bend in a river. You're going to see cool examples of those today. The next word that I want you to be able to know is called tributary. Say it with me. Tributary. It kind of sounds like that word contribute, but it kind of does. It's a tribute, like tributary. It's a large stream that flows into the main river. So, today I would like you to watch a couple of videos and look at a couple of websites, and I want you to describe how rivers deposit and erode sediments, and I want you to give 3 to 5 examples of surface features of the earth created by rivers and include how they're formed, such things as alluvial fans or deltas, things like that. Oh, this is page 81, and on page 82, you'll be able to see some of those river features, okay? Remember that water always flows downhill. Now, in case you can't tell, these are mountains, and this is where a river might start, high ground, right? Because river flows downhill. So these are mountains. So this would be a river source. And all these little branches of streams coming down would be tributaries, like contributing to the main river here. Remember, a curve in a river is called a meander. Sometimes rivers flood, and when they do, they bring particles of sand and silt and dirt, and they deposit them on the sides of the river, and these are called floodplains. When a river actually meets a larger body of water, the water starts to slow down and it deposits sediments in what we call a delta. And so this is the mouth of the river, and it is depositing sand or sediments here. Today, your job is to, maybe you have to go back and watch this video, but you get to complete the diagram with river source, main river, meander, river mouth, tributary, and floodplain. So let's check something out. Let's just look at a river. You don't have anything to submit today, but you do have a couple of videos to watch. I have here a really cool diagram of some land, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it rain, okay? I'm just going to make it rain. Hopefully you'll be able to see. Oh, I'm using a spray bottle. And actually, it's not doing a whole lot. If it sprinkles and there's not a whole lot of water, it doesn't do a whole lot. But let me see what I can do when I add some actual heavier rain. And it's going to rain on this mountaintop right here. And the glacier is going to melt. And see how it carries that water down? See that? It erodes the valley there. And it's really just coming from the same point. But the longer I pour the water, the more erosion takes place, right? And you see where it slowed down at the bottom? Oh, this is kind of cool. Hold on, I gotta move it a little bit. See where the water slowed down at the base? The water slowed down and it no longer carried the sediment and started dropping it. So that would be a delta, right? All right, kind of cool. Go and play with your hose occasionally and see what kind of holes you can dig in the backyard. Well, I mean, make sure it's okay with your parents first and don't make the holes too deep unless you're going to bury some treasure in there. Have fun today watching the videos. Draw a really nice picture of a river diagram. Try and figure out how rivers have actually changed the shape of the surface of the earth into what we see today. All right. I hope you guys get outside and play with the hose, and I hope soon you'll understand how rivers can carry sediment from one area to another and deposit it. It actually tears down and builds up landforms.